Good day, sir. I am James Carl Balatero from BSMPT Difficulties. I'm here to explain my answer in Sim 5 CO1 assessment. So, this is my answer in Sim 5 CO1 assessment. So, first is the task number 1. Task number 1, which is the turning circle. Turning circle, then, so this is the turning circle to starboard side. So this is the starting point of the ship, which have the approach course or and the rudder execute, and the distance to the course, then the turning point, the transfer to change to 90 degrees, then to 180 degrees, then the drift angle, then this is the part of midship point, then the radius of the turning radius of the ship, then the tactical diameter, uh, then the advanced distance travel. Then that is all in task number 1, sir. Then in task number 2, we have the turning circle also. Then this is the normal full loaded condition with maximum rudder angle. Then this is the fully loaded condition of the ship when it's turned. So first is on the port side, we got a speed of 25.52 knots, and the starboard side 25.52 knots. It's similar. Then turning to the port side takes 16.9 knots in 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Then change to 11.5 knots in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Then 9.7 knots in 6 minutes and 19 seconds. Then at the starboard side, we have a speed of 17 knots in 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Then alteration of speed into 12.2 knots in 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Then into 11.34 knots in 6 minutes and 24 seconds. So this is the distance of travel, then the transfer diameter, or the point where the ship started to turn. Then here also the distance travel with the advanced distance travel, then the transfer diameter of the ship and the point where the ship turns. Then next is the other turning circle, is a normal ballast condition with maximum rudder angle. Then on the port side, we got a speed of 26.1 knots, and the starboard side 26.1 knots also. Then the advanced distance travel is 0.488 nautical miles. Then the transfer diameter, or the turning point, is 0.568 nautical miles. Then we have a tactical diameter on the starboard side of 0.581 nautical miles. Then the speed is 16.8 knots in 1 minute and 43 seconds. Then altering speed into 13.4 knots in 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Then into 12.8 knots in 5 minutes and 10 seconds. On the upper side, we got 16.9 knots in 1 minute and 24 seconds. Then 12.8 knots in 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Then 11.1 knots in 5 minutes and 8 seconds. So that is all in task 1.2, sir. Then task number 2, we have task number 2. So wind and current are usually associated as both being forces not under control of the ship handler. In this illustration, the ship is passing in a narrow channel while being affected by the wind and current. In order to maintain a safety of navigation, the navigational officer must navigate with caution and avoid turning the ship to port side because there is a possibility of hitting the coast. The ship must maintain a low speed to have more time in performing actions when emergency happens. So that is my answer for task number 2. Then task number 3, human factor. So the human factor, a delay in time between your given order and the execution of the order will affect how you intend to move your ship. This is caused by human factors because the individual you are ordering may have different responses depending on their training and ability to perform the job, or that orders have to be relayed by an officer to the helmsman, which is a bad practice that should be avoided, so that the conning officer should be able to give his order directly to the helmsman. Then task number 4, question number 1, why and how does squat effect take place? The ship floats in water because of one simple reason: there is no net force acting on the ship. Now it is not there are no forces acting on the ship. Then the squat is the decrease in ship under deep clearance when it moves in shallow waters because of low pressure created under the ship. When a ship moves forward, it pushes the water forward. So when the current is and the pressure is not equal, or like colliding with each other, then the ship will happen to squat. And then what are the factors that affect squat? So speed of the vessel, one of the factors, speed of the vessel. Then block coefficient of the vessel, blockage factor of the canal, and narrow channel. Then question number 3, how do we know if the squat will result in forward trim, up trim, or no trim? So in a shallow depths, the water tries to fill a void created by the moving ship. For the fine horn of ship Queen Mary 2, then in this case the effective low pressure will be up because this shape of the bow, this will cause the stern to sink more than the bow. Then the question number 4, what are the signs that show vessel is experiencing squat? So signs which shows the vessel is in shallow water and is experiencing squat is ship steering becomes sluggish or really movie and not stable. That is comparatively difficult to steer the ship. Then engine RPM will decrease to compensate for the load on the engine. Then the speed of the ship will decrease. The ship may start to vibrate. Ang barko, sir. Then the mud showing up around ship's hull. Then the vessels rolling and pitching reduce. Then turning diameter of the vessel will increases. So that is all, sir. Thank you.